it's just a podcast about how much we like the Joe Rogan podcast, and we all wear sunglasses, and none of us wear shirts.
That's hilarious.
I love making those jokes about the Joe Rogan podcast but I love that podcast so much. But I'm very aware how like I don't know. It's always like
cringy it can be.
well, yeah, and it's always like the douchebaggy guys that are into like I don't know, that are on the cusp of like discovering open-mindedness that tell
Dude,
you
are you a libertarian?
yeah, exactly.
Dude, do you use kettlebells? Dude, are you a libertarian who uses kettlebells? Listen to Joe Rogan.
Dude, if you listen to Joe Rogan, you'll know that we actually evolved from apes that learned how to swim.
Well, no, dude, it was 2 million years ago, the mushroom neurogenesis, dude.
Yeah, dude. We ate mushrooms in the forest, and then our brain grew 8 times its size in 10 years.
Yeah, dude. You should do ayahuasca, then you'll know.
Yeah, man. You'd probably know all this if you weren't vaccinated. Just saying a lot of things that I definitely did not hear on his podcast. So is this the beginning?
Yes,
Dude,
yeah.
We're starting off strong dissing Joe Rogan.
Yeah, we got Joe Rogan beef.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, you could come on the podcast and try to argue with us, but we're experts in every field, so
Yeah, of
you'll
course.
lose.
Yeah, home turf. You come to us, Joe Rogan. Oh, man.
Oh, it's amazing.
So since this is going to go down in recorded history as the first podcast, we should probably introduce ourselves.
Okay.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, I
you
mean,
first.
I feel like it was a
Okay.
cold intro. It wasn't really like we didn't tell anyone we started. We just cold introed it, you know?
I think that's
That's
how
cool.
most podcasts work now, like it seems.
I'm good with that.
Like
I'm
they
good
just
with that.
fade in.
Yeah. No, that's true.
So, you know,
a good hook, a good like starting, like a little thing to catch you off guard.
Yeah. Sure, and it's going to be us shitting on Joe Rogan.
Every time. It's different. Joe
Every
Rogan jokes.
podcast.
Let's just shit on other podcasts until one of them decides to shit on his
Yeah,
back.
dude.
Yeah,
We
then
didn't-
we'll know we've made it.
We didn't call it HARDPOD for nothing.
Absolutely. There was definitely a reason behind that.
Yeah, sure. It was well thought out, just like everything we do. Yeah, I'll introduce myself. I'm Mike, and I'm a graphic designer, unemployed, living in LA, about to leave here and probably go back to Tennessee where I'm from and figure out my life from there. I make funny videos sometimes. It's been a while. I like making art and trippy things, and lately I've been focusing a lot of time on Twitch because I don't know, it's been a really great environment to hang out with my friends and stress relief, as well as create content at the same time. So it's been a lot of fun, and that's kind of me, I guess. Is that good?
Okay.
Does that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That
think that's a
about
good.
sums it up, I think.
Okay,
Yeah, I
cool.
think that's great.
That's
for your-
everything about me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all you need to know. If you know more, then it's weird.
Yeah, it's real weird.
We'll get into more personal details later.
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
get weird. We'll get weird.
Yeah.
I guess
Who's
I'll
next?
go. I guess
Yeah,
I'll
you
go.
can go.
Um,
I'll go last.
My name is Caleb. I very often go by Moose though, just about on everything. I'm a teacher right now, and I got into education kind of by accident. I graduated with a degree in Spanish and ended up a Spanish teacher, and then left to go sell phones because I hated my life. And now I'm back into teaching, but I'm a STEM teacher, and it's pretty cool. I just do hands-on science shit with kids all day, and it's really fun. And just started a podcast with a few friends because I don't really have any other creative outlets right now, and I really really want to have a creative outlet.
Yeah.
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 So it's $30 to $1,000 to adopt a moose, according to this website.
Really?
I
$30?
It's like it's like adopting a highway, but it's like a
I
moose.
think it's like
Like
adopting
you
a
don't
highway.
get
I'm not
like, you
gonna
don't
read it.
get to do anything to the moose. Like you don't get to like take it home or
Fuck it.
yeah.
You don't get to do any of those things.
Yeah.
I'm about to adopt a moose and name it HARDPOD.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's the hardest
Yeah.
Can
moose
you at
of
least
them all.
name the moose?
Yeah, that's a good question. If you can name the moose and like get status updates
Sure.
on it.
Yeah, you
Then
need
Look
stats.
at that fucking moose. So
Oh,
yeah,
they're
this
so-
is something I
Dude,
thought.
their
so,
antlers
when
are
we,
furry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we see your like screen on the stream, it'll be like delayed. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I
maybe
don't
we
know
can
what to
figure
do.
that out eventually.
Yeah, maybe
there's
we
not a
can
real
use something
efficient way.
like. Well, I can do screen share
Screen
on here,
sharing.
but I don't know if it'll work with with OBS capturing the screen at the same time, because I can't show you my webcam with OBS using my webcam. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay. Well, I'll do my intro before we stray too far.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So here, I'll look right into the camera. My name is Charles. I'm 27 years old. I'm a male. I'm a student. I'm getting a degree in audio production. Let's see. Yeah, I make music, electronic music. I play guitar. I play keyboards. I live somewhere near Nashville. That's all I'll say. And yeah, that's me. That's me, I guess.
I guess that's a good thing to point out is I currently right now I'm recording in a friend's bedroom, not my own, because I live on a reservation. So the fastest internet that's available to me is like 3 megabits per second download speed. So it's pretty horrible.
Oh, that's my SoundCloud page.
Yeah. I'm trying to get the visual aids.
Don't look at that. Look at the Bandcamp page.
What's
That one's
your
more professional.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Bandcamp just is more professional, period.
Yeah.
What is your Bandcamp?
SoundCloud-
I don't know if I'm like following you. Is it the
it's
same
just
shit?
just Google ARHT and Bandcamp.
Okay.
Ugh.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this looks a lot cooler. Wow, you
Yeah,
got
I've
like
done some.
a bunch
done
of little
some stuff.
albums.
Yeah, most of them are like
Cool.
little singles, like.
Yeah, I think I
double
listened to
tracks.
this one. I think
Yeah,
this
that's
is,
the newest one.
or maybe the second one, the On It, is what I
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
I remember you showing me that one.
I'm always just working on stuff. I'm working on some
Yeah.
right now. You know.
Yeah, you made the little loop that I use at the beginning of all my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
You made
so
it
that
for another
red-
purpose, and then I had it on my
Yeah.
computer and just used
What
it.
did I make it for?
I was gonna do a rap thing with like Elkin and Christian,
Oh, gotcha.
and I
yeah.
wrote like a bunch of shit on the spot there, and they didn't write a lot. I mean, they don't like make rap music really. I mean, they're getting
Yeah,
into it,
yeah.
and they've always written stuff, but you know,
Yeah. That red one. That
nothing
red,
really happened to it. Yeah,
that
the
one with
others.
the red cover is similar to that. That's very similar to that stuff because I made that around the same time as that stuff.
Oh, okay, cool,
It's a little weird though. But it's
nice.
fine.
I like that. Nice.
But yeah.
Do you always put okay, some of it is like you price it differently. Do you ever
yeah.
do
I usually just decide what the value of it should be, and usually like,
Yeah.
I'll have like each
But-
track is $1, and then if you buy the whole single, which is usually 2 or 3 tracks, it's just $1 for the whole thing.
Yeah, they're all like reasonable prices. But
Yeah,
some
I
of them
think-
are name your own price. That's what I was gonna ask, is if you do
Yeah,
the
a
name your
couple of
price thing
them
often.
are like a couple of them are. I used to have them all name your own price,
Yeah.
and I found out that people were just downloading them for nothing, and I was like, I wonder if I put prices on them if people will pay for them. And I think it's like not really. Like they'll download them for nothing, or they just won't download them at all if they cost something.
That's what I
Unless they
think. I
really
think
unless they really want something.
well, you don't really see. I was looking at my analytics on the app. I didn't really look through on the website, but like I see purchases, but I don't see free downloads.
Yeah, no, you see those. You see
Okay.
downloads on there.
Then maybe I think everybody who downloaded donated money.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But I'm
but I
definitely
think
gonna
most people just listen to it on the website now.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And some of the
that's
stuff, yeah, I've got like thousands of listens, but I've only made like $15, maybe like 20 downloads or something
Yeah.
like that.
People don't really like saving stuff as much anymore.
no. I'm just
Yeah,
listening on
but,
the website.
As that stuff gets older, I'll probably start making it all free.
Yeah.
Some of it's
I
getting on to
gotcha.
like 2 years old now and stuff.
Yeah. I hear you. So, you guys want to talk about podcast we like, or
Um, I'm not a huge podcast dude.
yeah?
I think that's more. I know Moose said he listens to podcasts.
I'm not crazy on them, you know. Like there's several that I've gotten into, but I kind of leave them after a while.
Mm-hmm.
I get
I,
burnt out on them.
I don't listen
That's
to
how
them
I
like
was with
weekly or
the-
anything, but I regularly will, like, if something pops up on my YouTube while I'm at work or something, I'll put it on in the background or something.
Yeah.
It's not like a thing that I keep up with though.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I get a lot. I end up listening to most of it on YouTube because it's just I'm killing time and something's up, and I need something in the background.
Yeah, exactly. It's really good background noise, and sometimes it's really good laughs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's several of them that I just like. I like their videos and they just keep coming up, so I've listened to a ton of them. But I've never like sat down and planned on listening to that, you know.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was weird the other day when Charles was like, "Yeah, I watch podcasts in my free time." Like, I don't think that's a normal thing, but I guess it is. Someone has to, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I-
just watched
I
like
do, I just-
I watched the H3 one,
Yeah, me too.
and like I'll watch it like during the day when I'm like doing shit.
Is that
And
that
I'll, like,
Ethan
I'll-
Klein dude?
I'll usually
Yeah.
watch it. Yeah, yeah.
Ethan and
Yeah.
Gila.
I watched a few episodes of that this week because you said you watched him, and I really liked them. The Bobby Lee one was great. It was really
Yeah,
good.
that one was amazing. That
Yeah.
one was really
Yeah,
fucking
Bobby
good.
Lee is fucking awesome, and I always enjoy seeing interviews of him. Like he's just so real,
Mhm.
and just I don't know.
And he doesn't have
Um,
like a filter. Like, I mean, he'll stop himself
No.
from saying anything offensive, but he'll just say whatever the fuck he's
Dude,
thinking about.
what he does kills me because I've heard him do it so many times where he's just like, no, I shouldn't say that, and they are just like, you shouldn't say what, and he's like, okay, I'll say this, and then he just like goes on a tangent and says everything. Like he can't stop himself.
like he'll change one
Yeah.
So
minute
funny.
detail, like give the guy a fake name or something. And
Yeah. Yeah. No, he just is like constantly burning bridges.
yeah. No, I really like that episode though, and I watched a few other. Like I watched the one with the PUBG creator guy, and that was less
Okay,
good
I
because
didn't watch that.
that was less good because that guy's just really bad at interviewing. But I mean, he's
Yeah.
a game creator, not really a podcast
I'm
dude.
trying to
So.
think, what was another really good one?
I like
Yeah.
Harmontown a lot.
I've only listened to
Yeah.
like one or two of them, and I don't know why it just didn't get me.
I went to 4 of them. Like I saw 4 of them live.
That's
And
pretty
I don't
sweet.
know if they're still doing them live. I'd like to go to another one before I leave LA. But yeah, they're really cool, and I mean, it was done in like the Starburns castle, which is like part of their production like area that they're turning into a studio. It's where they filmed like Rick and Morty, you know, the after show
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So they're starting to build out like their own venue and they're doing shows there and stuff. It's cool. But and so they'd have an open bar, and that was dope. Like you just had to tip the guy and he wouldn't cut you off. So you could just drink for free.
How much was it
And-
to get in?
like $20 or something. Real
Holy
cheap.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super affordable. And Yeah, it was good. Sometimes you would like some of them. I don't know. Dan Harmon is such like a real person when you like he would be sputtering drunk and like his rants wouldn't land sometimes. And sometimes
Mm,
they really killed. So it
mm.
was definitely like interesting to see in person and be there and not like romanticize it. Um
Oh, for sure. No, he's
Yeah,
an interesting fella.
I've watched some clips of the Harmontown, and everyone I've seen has been good. I watched
yeah.
their D&D thing
Yeah, so they
a
do
little
the
bit.
first half of the show is a rant and then the second half is supposed to be D&D for anyone who isn't familiar with it. But there's a
Hmm.
lot of drinking and then the dungeon master is like this guy with a beard who just approached Dan one time and said, "Hey, I
Yeah,
want to
that's a
DM
good
for you."
story. That's a crazy story.
Yeah, the guy just came up and said he wanted to DM for him and then
And
they
now
started
he's
the
like on
podcast.
their like team.
Toured the
Huh.
fucking country with him. What's his name?
I don't know.
I want to say Spencer. I wanted to say Tucker because I worked with a guy named Tucker who had a huge beard, but Spencer, that's his name.
But and then Joe Rogan in like 2016 a good bit, and then I just got over it, you know.
Yeah, I love the Joe Rogan podcast. I watched some of it today, but I watched the one with guy from Whitest Kids You Know, I think. Um,
Mm.
it was
I like
it was really good.
I like Joe Rogan for the quality of his guests. He gets really good guests on, which is cool.
And he
But
gets people other people won't touch, which is kind of fun. You know,
yeah,
he'll get Alex Jones or Ben Shapiro or whatever. He doesn't care.
yeah,
Mm.
and I think I like Joe Rogan as a podcast host, but I don't like him as a person. Like a bunch of his shit is
you
really
don't
shitty.
you don't know him as a person. Do
Well,
you mean
yeah,
as
but
a
I mean,
comedian?
like everything else that he does besides his podcast, I don't like. That's
Yeah.
that's the most
You don't
succinct
like
way I
his
can put
stand
it.
up very much?
No, I don't. I don't think it's that
Hmm.
great. Um,
And
I think he thrives better in like a podcast setting with a
I think
guest.
he's way better at podcasting.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think he's good at like
I,
he's
I
like
like his
not he
stand
like
up.
he's obviously he's not like like a genius or anything. But I think what he's really good at is he's really good at getting people to talk about things that they are really passionate about.
And
Like he's good about
he's
like
really
drawing out.
interested. You know, he's
Yeah,
like
yeah, but I think that's part of like what I'm saying. Like he's good
yeah,
at like
yeah, that's
drawing
what I'm
out
saying.
interesting things from interesting people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Um another one is Marin's podcast, WTF. Mark
Mhm.
Maron's podcast. I've listened to so many of them. They're like interviews, you know, but
Mm,
they're mostly people in entertainment, and he starts with at their childhood, you know, and finds out how they got to where they are today, and just like he does a really good job of like staying in the moment with them and not waiting for the next question. You know, if he asks them a question about high school and they start talking and then they say something interesting, he's like, wait, what did that feel like? Or like, you know, he really like
mm.
So like
stays in it with them and you learn on like you feel like you get to know people listening to
that's
it.
pretty cool. I've never watched his podcast though.
It's just audio.
Oh, yeah, those are the
Yeah.
kind
He does
I
it in
prefer
his
personally.
garage. He had Obama on it, which was like a huge publicity deal.
Okay.
The Obama camp contacted him and then came to his garage and filmed it and everything, or not
That's pretty
filmed it,
sweet.
but yeah,
Recorded it.
yeah.
Man, like one of the podcasts that I think I listened to like every single one of them like just while I was playing video games and stuff is the Yog Pod, but they don't do that anymore.
Yogpod.
Yeah,
Fuck, I can't remember who that is.
It's the Yogs Cast guys. It's
Yeah.
like
Okay.
I think I still watch those guys' videos um on YouTube, but they don't and they have like the Triforce that they do now, but it's not the same two of them. It's like three of the other guys.
Oh,
Gotcha.
With Lewis, who is one of the founders of the Yogs Cast.
sure. Yeah, no, another one that I listen to a little bit just intermittently is it's one called The Official Podcast. It's these four like YouTube guys. Well, one of them's a huge YouTube guy and the other three are just his friends that are
Yeah.
kind of like medium size to small size on YouTube. And it's just them talking about bullshit with other YouTubers. Like they'll invite a YouTuber, a really famous one. Like that's how I know Boogie is because he was on their show, and they've had like PewDiePie
Okay.
and shit like that. They basically exclusively interview YouTube stars, and
Okay.
it's relatively interesting
Um,
and kind of funny, but it's I don't know, doesn't like make me. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Comedy Bang Bang is solid. I've listened to a bunch of those. That it's like very freeform improv with whoever's on it. You know, it's a lot of comedians basically and comic
That's
actors and
interesting.
rarely other people, but it's like, dude, they will go into a riff like crazy. They'll like really like somebody will come on as a character. You know, they have people like Nick Grohl or PF or what is his name, Paul F. Tompkins, or you know, like people that are known for playing characters and
Like
doing
actors.
impressions. Yeah, Reggie Watts, like, you know, and they'll just come on and they won't even say like, they'll be like, and we have Jimmy Schminimo. They'll just make up a name, and that guy will stay in character the entire podcast sometimes, and that's
Pretty great.
but yeah, it's all just riffing, goofing, like lots of inside jokes and stuff that they build on. And another like not as goofy, but the Opie and Anthony radio show, I've listened to that a lot, and it's also just a bunch of dudes hanging out making jokes and whatever, you know.
Jay
Not
Fury,
a podcast, but yeah, I saw that.
yeah, and I've
Bill
only
Burr's
listened to like one
podcast.
episode, and I liked that. I thought it was pretty funny.
For being one guy in a room, it's
Yeah.
phenomenal. Like I don't know how it's as good as it is for just being him.
Yeah.
It's really good.
What do you guys want to get into some like topics or something?
Yeah, sure. Is that enough like meta podcast
Yeah.
pod
Well,
talk?
I think so.
Well, the only
Yeah.
thing I really want to touch on this episode before we get like super sidetracked is kind of like what is our frequency going to be? Are we going to do this weekly, and is it going to be like what's our plan for that?
What about bi-weekly?
Yeah, bi-weekly or even monthly, or every few weeks or something.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to make it weekly. And we
Yeah,
can
Well,
we could get burned out on something weekly.
yeah.
Make it special, more special.
Yeah, I
For sure.
agree. For sure. And make it so that it's not as big of a deal if something has to get pushed back or moved around. If it's not a weekly thing, it won't be as noticeable.
For sure.
But I'm never like doing anything on Sundays other than like schoolwork. And
Yeah,
like,
Sundays are good for me
I've
too.
got a couple weeks left in the semester, and I can always just start doing schoolwork on like Fridays and Saturdays instead of just like procrastinating till Sundays.
Yeah. Cool.
and Sundays work for me the best probably too. But
Mhm.
I don't really care. I can do it any day after work. Since I work at a school, it's pretty easy for me.
I like Sundays. They're generally my chill day.
Downstairs mix-up said bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly. What's up, downstairs mix-up?
Yeah,
Fantastic name.
yeah, that's a really good one.
Thanks for watching. Yeah, so that sounds good to me.
Yeah, bi-weekly sounds like really agreeable.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, cool. That's all I wanted to accomplish this whole episode. I think it's a wrap. So
Yeah.
All right, now we can,
All right.
now I
See you
can.
guys.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Now we can talk about whatever. Should I? So, I had something on the tip of my tongue. I lost it.
Maybe So maybe we can like bring up some links and stuff.
Yeah,
Just get our
sure.
brains going until we
So-
find something that we can riff on.
Yeah, anything you post in the DM here, I can easily pull up.
Okay, so
j-
in the gotcha.
Yeah, and the DM in this convo, so I don't have to click away and lose your faces on OBS.
Sure.
So you're recording. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
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 Oh God.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
What what do you guys think of like some of the new music that's been coming on recently?
Just music in
I don't know
general.
if I'm playing catch up, I feel like, with shit always.
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, there's so much out there, but also like I was so into the underground scene and rap that I missed like a lot of people and went back to like I wasn't listening to Danny Brown, Childish Gambino, and new Kanye and Chance the Rapper and all when they were coming out because I was trying to like explore different things and was kind of
Mhm.
like bitter to the mainstream and didn't realize that like interesting things were really happening there, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so now I'm playing catch up, I feel like, and listening to some of that shit.
Yeah, Danny Brown's last album was extremely experimental.
It was.
Yeah, I
It was
loved it.
so fucking good. I listen to it still like regularly.
It's
That and the
Yeah.
Impossible Kid.
Oh, thank you for the follow. I can't see who did that. Oh, downstairs mix up. Thank you. Sorry,
Yeah.
OBS is like minimized, so it's hard to see.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad that somebody's enjoying it.
Yeah. Dude,
No,
that Danny Brown, hold on, let me pull this up. What was the name of the
Atrocity
single?
Exhibition.
The single on there that was directed by Jonah Hill.
You mean like a music
Jonah
video?
Hill directed Ain't It Funny? Isn't that it?
I think
Like a
so.
music video for that song?
Oh, I have to sign in. Are you serious? Okay, so now I'm going to sign. Yeah, there's a music video for that song. It's like, it's really wild. Typing in my password. Enjoy
Dude,
my
that whole
wallpaper.
album is just phenomenal though. And he's in the process of making a new album right now, and I couldn't be more excited. Just based on how good that one was. I really hope
Just
that he's
disappeared off the stream.
Yeah, I had to type in my password. I just, but yeah, you guys
Oh,
want
man.
people. But yeah, it's like a fucking like a sitcom parody like music video.
Oh, I think I fucking saw this.
It's really weird to
Yeah,
think
yeah,
of Jonah Hill
yeah, I
as
saw
making
this.
this, you know?
Yeah. That's an awesome fucking music video.
Yeah, it's solid. It's
Danny Brown's just an awesome fucking like musician in general.
yeah, he's weird. I don't know. I talked to somebody who was complaining about like him getting his teeth fixed and looking normal. Like she was like, I miss the ratchet Danny Brown. I was like, he's like most of his life he's been thinking about fixing those teeth. Like let him do it. Like
Yeah.
like you think he didn't like look in the mirror and be like, man, I hate my fucking teeth. Like
No, that's interesting. No, he's I've watched interviews with him and stuff, and he's really interesting in general. Like he's not just, I mean, he's pretty ratchet, but he's not just all like psychedelic.
He
hood
seems
hippie
like
shit, you know?
he's there to have a good time, you know, when I've seen
Yeah.
him in interviews. He's like really fun. I saw a thing with him at Gathering of the Juggalos and he was pretty happy there, you know.
Yeah.
He was feeling the love and everything. So if you can be happy at the gathering, you know. Oh yeah, what's
So he
up, Keg
tweeted-
Dad?
He tweeted a new.
Thanks for chilling.
He tweeted a picture, like saying that he's like recording his new album.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what's got me
cool.
so stoked is because I don't know, I've been listening to an Atrocity Exhibition since it came out pretty regularly, like bi-weekly probably. And now it's gonna come out, and a new album's gonna come out, and I hope it lives up to it because that album was incredible.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, what's he gonna do next? You know, as the
Yeah.
next step after that album.
Well,
I-
he's
Where does
had
he go from there?
I want him to like I
Does
don't
he
know.
go more like out there or more like back towards something more traditional, you know?
Yeah, either way, I'd be excited because I think a lot of, like, I don't know. I feel like Aesop Rock, like, kept making things like started off as weird and experimental as possible, and ever since then was trying to like learn how to tone it down. And when he like, and it got, he just like refined it and broke it down to where it was finally like understandable with his newer album. But
Yeah,
so
it's
I'm
really
like,
palatable.
so I think it's like really exciting, like when an artist gets like really abstract and
automatic
then
lights went
tunes
out.
it back, you know? Oh God, now you're really in the dark. But yeah, I think
automatic.
like I think going like full on
This is
experimental and then toning it down is like a good technique.
Oh, I'm like the darkness now. Let me go turn on my light.
All right,
Okay.
can we get more backlight? Just kidding.
Oh God.
What's up?
What's up?
Oh shit! I can feel a burp coming on. I've been drinking beer too fast.
But like
No.
someone like David Bowie, like he like started out like in like a like his first thing he ever did was like a doo-wop group. That wasn't even famous. And then he came up in like the avant-garde like rock music scene. And then he went to like he'd made like funk music, and then he made like experimental like European art rock sort of like electronic influence stuff. And then he went pop music in the 80s. And then he went back to like experimental stuff. So it's like if you look at someone like that, it's like all over the place. And like some
Yeah.
people have like very defined arcs, like or an upwards trajectory, like a downwards trajectory from like super simple to super weird to like super weird to super simple.
Yeah.
But you know, it's interesting.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about like getting experimental for a while, because if you look at, like you said, Aesop Rock, but there's other people like LP who was pretty experimental for a while, and then now he's really come into like being really influential, but also just probably in his prime, just extremely good right now.
Yeah.
And he's way more
I
palatable than he used to be.
I think a lot of those underground guys that I've been listening to since I was in like middle school, I think they're now in their prime. It's like really rewarding to have been listening to them for that long and see like the underground scene grow and them really rise to the occasion, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
it's super
it blew
cool.
my mind when Aesop was on the Colbert. He was with Colbert. He did
What?
like the late night show. Yeah, he did a set on Stephen Colbert's show.
No way,
He-
I didn't know
yeah.
that.
He did Dorks on there. Go
What?
look it up, dude.
How did I
Yeah,
not
go
know
look
that?
it up.
I will look
It
that
blew
up.
my mind.
Like, of course,
That's
Run
cool.
the Jewels performed on there. You know, that's not surprising.
Run the
but,
Jewels is a fucking powerhouse. I don't know
Yeah.
like how they did it. They immediately just rose to stardom.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. I think both of those guys were in like position to do it because they were both like had separate like critically acclaimed careers. And it was just like the perfect storm of like those two guys being where they were as like underground superstars to like make an album together and then become like mainstream, you know.
Yeah, they just needed somebody to
Semi-mainstream.
recognize
The hipster mainstream,
like,
you know.
Yeah. But
Well,
like,
no, I'd argue they're pretty like just actually mainstream. Like as far
Really?
as yeah, like
I mean,
almost everyone knows about them now. At least
I-
knows
Yeah.
about them.
yeah, I don't know, a little
Probably
bit.
young people, you know, they're not like
Oh,
But
well,
even
then-
that, I don't know if they're quite there. Like, they're definitely like not underground, but I don't know
guess
if
in,
they're
like, the
quite
hip-hop
mainstream.
sphere, they
In
would
the
be
hip hop
mainstream.
sphere, yeah. In the grand scale of music, I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, like you said, they were both poised for it for sure. But I think that
Damn millennials. That's what Downstairs Mix Up says. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I like
Fuck
Downstairs Mix Up
millennials.
already. They're pretty new, but I think I like them already.
So, Charles, what were you thinking of when you said like newer music? Like what newer music?
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's like I listen to, you know, a lot of the like underground electronic music. And like there's some big sort of like names in that world dropping new stuff this summer. Like I think there's gonna be some good stuff this summer because like Nicholas Jar released like a crazy like house kind of like project that was like something that's been he's been sitting on for a while, like kind of like a compilation almost. And then DJ Cozy's gonna have a new album. Moody Man's gonna have a new album. And there's this dude, Prince of Denmark, also known as Tron Prince, also known as DJ Metatron, released 2 albums simultaneously under the names Prime Minister of Doom and DJ Healer. He like killed off one of his aliases, the Prince of Denmark alias.
Interesting. That
and
multiple
but
alias
it's like,
shit.
Yeah, it's very similar to what he was doing under that alias, the Prime Minister of Doom. It's very similar to Prince of Denmark, and DJ Healer is very similar to DJ Metatron.
Okay.
But those are some like just sort of like legendary and like the dance music underground people.
Okay.
And like,
Sure.
I was gonna say something because we were talking about Danny Brown. Man, I think like the most the 2 most influential cities in American music are Detroit and Memphis. I think because like, and I love like Detroit music because like I mean you've obviously got like Motown and stuff, but like
Yeah.
Danny Brown's from Detroit, Jay Dilla was from Detroit, Moody Man's from Detroit.
Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Detroit.
ICP's from Detroit.
Techno was invented in Detroit. Like Juana Atkins and Derek May and Kevin Saunderson, like those guys like invented and like made techno a thing, and that came from Detroit. And like house music came from Chicago, but techno came from Detroit.
Eminem, the greatest white rapper of all time.
Eminem came from Detroit. Like I think there's something special about Detroit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to like elaborate on the Eminem point, I don't think he's the greatest white rapper, but like he definitely changed the game. Oh,
yeah. Eminem definitely changed rap forever. Like he's a big part of rap history.
I mean, I don't really care for his
like,
new shit at all, but he's definitely still a powerhouse.
You could, when you talk about music, people will say, LA, New York, but I think Detroit is just as important as those places.
Gotcha.
And Memphis too, as far as like history from the 20th century is in like blues and rock and roll, which every single genre of music that is like in popular Western culture, which, goes to the world, I guess, is an international thing now, is based on the blues in one form or another, in one way or another.
Sure.
Like every single genre that you could name that fits in the realm of popular music was influenced by the blues.
That'd be a really interesting thing to like research. I should look into that. Maybe I'll ask.
Absolutely.
I had
Detroit looks so pretty on Google Images.
Yeah, it looks fucking awful. Like otherwise.
No, like okay, so this is like if you Google any city in the whole world,
you'll
on
see
Google
beautiful
Images,
pictures.
they all look the same. Like they all have like these super saturated photos of like the skyline.
Yeah.
Like,
Hold on.
Just start Google Images city. Like
yeah. I'm going to.
Like look up fucking like Jakarta or some shit like that, or Dubai. Like they all look the fucking same on Google Images.
If you guys look up my city, it'll look pretty in person or
What?
on Google Images.
I don't know.
They all have the same kind of like marketing strategy,
Surprised you didn't get mugged looking at that pic.
Google White River.
No, it's Brent. What's up, Brent? How you doing?
I mean, it's just White Rivers. But yeah, if like let's stick with big cities. They'll still like
Milwaukee, Memphis.
Yeah, they're all gonna
Nashville.
have this like oversaturated color thing for sure. I've seen so many of them. Like
It's a weird marketing strategy for these tourists of these tourism of these cities.
yeah,
think.
it's not even weird. It's just sneaky. Like it
Yeah.
makes sense why it works. God.
Like, whoa, that looks beautiful. Let's go there.
Yeah, dude, all the ones with the water.
So
there's
colorful.
like any
Yeah,
city with
yeah.
water, they'll like reflect everything.
Yeah.
It's like
I wonder
Yeah.
if there's like only like a handful of like marketing firms that do these cities like marketing programs, you know,
No,
for their
they just
websites
all
and
do
stuff.
whatever they know works.
Is
Like once
popular,
a
yeah, I
trend
guess so.
starts, like and it's proven to work, they just do it. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man,
My
Sydney's really pushing that opera house.
Yeah, yeah, you think? I've never seen this opera house before.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
did you know that Sydney has an opera house?
No, dude, I did not know that. I had no
neither did
idea.
I.
Oh man.
That's pretty cool. That's a cool looking building.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
What
When I was in grade school, they used to call it the butterfly building, and I don't think it looks like a butterfly at all.
It kind of
supposed to
looks
look like
like
ship
wings or
sails.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks it looks way more like that. There's a weird like what's it called? There's a Disney uh building here, theater opera. I don't know. They do music shows.
Just a
What is
theater?
it? No, it's called something. Hold on.
Like an amphitheater?
This
Or is
thing.
it indoors?
Disney Concert Hall.
Oh.
That's
It's crazy
pretty
looking. I'm trying
disappointingly
to find
obvious
a
name.
yeah.
The concert halls. Oh, I see it. It's like a really like modern artsy kind of building. Like
Yeah. It
fucking
well
huge like chrome.
it's funny because it's right across the street from the Broad, which is a contemporary art museum.
Oh,
And this
dude.
looks way better than the Broad.
dude, look up
The Broad
who
looks
who
weird,
designed
too.
that building because I have an idea.
Okay.
Look up who's the architect of that building because I might know who it is. I want to see. I don't want to just say it. I'm
I
gonna say
want you to
Frank
say
Gehry.
it though.
Frank
Okay.
Gehry.
Dude,
Yeah, I
you
want
got
you to
it.
say it though because like
Did
holy
I
shit,
get it?
really?
Frank Gehry, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
You're
That's
right.
his shit, dude. That like flowing like kind of thing.
Gotcha.
He designed like the Guggenheim in Barcelona, I think,
oh,
and like
cool.
all kinds of shit.
If it's
Yeah,
in
dude.
Barcelona, I probably saw it in person. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. Do you know?
I
Do you
remember
guys know
that
about
building.
brutalism style architecture?
I don't.
Whoa. I'm looking at some of his buildings.
Great architect.
What's
Interesting.
brutalism?
Crazy.
Brutalism is you've probably seen brutalist buildings, but it's basically like I think it its core is just raw concrete, but it's like buildings with like no windows and like rectangles and shit. But if you look up brutalism, you'll see what I'm talking
Okay.
about.
Yeah, no, I've seen shit like this. I just looked it up.
It was big in like
Fucking-
the 70s.
England has a lot of shit like this. Like UK, I don't know about England.
Wow.
specifically,
Yeah, yeah.
but, like the UK has a lot of shit like that.
Yeah.
Because I just went there last summer or
That
two
was a
summers ago now.
weird.
It's like the
it was a-
stacking of things like that.
Yeah,
yeah, and
That's
like
kind of
all
what the
ones that you
library
see-
looks like at UT.
All the ones that you see with like the weird angles are kind of like cool versions, but most of the time when you think of brutalist buildings, it's usually disgusting. It's just like ugly,
Hold on.
barren, no windows,
Yeah.
straight lines, like blocks.
yeah.
Look at the UT library. You'll see me pull it up. It's brick, but it's like I'm trying to find a bigger picture. All these are kind of small.
UT, is that like the University of Tennessee or
University
something?
of Tennessee. Yeah, that's where
Okay,
I went to
yeah.
school.
Because there's UT that's also Texas.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to know for just personal because I'm probably gonna try to look up a bunch of this shit after the show to
It's
be a
just
little more literate.
The thing that looks like stairs.
yeah.
Yeah, you could call that brutalist, but technically it's not because it's
Okay.
not made of raw concrete.
Mm.
It's kind of
Yeah, it's brick. Yeah.
It's definitely like some sort of postmodern architecture that's like based
Gotcha.
off of brutalism.
That's a fucking sweet looking building though. In general, that's pretty badass.
yeah, it
Yeah,
looks weird.
there's some weird buildings at UT. The art building had like it didn't hide any of the like AC and everything. You could see like through it all. It was just concrete. And everything was like exposed, all the piping and all that. It was weird.
Yeah. Hold on one second.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
trying to.
I'm into architecture.
You're into a lot of interesting things, Charles. I think you're gonna bring like a lot to the table every time.
You think
'Cause
so?
Yeah, because you have it's like you have your finger in like every pot, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like you know a
Yeah.
little
He's
bit
got
about
his
everything.
finger in more than just pots. I don't. Sorry, just trying to dumb it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I got my
Yeah,
finger
we
in
went from
lots
rap to
of
buildings.
holes.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna talk a lot about architecture and Danny Brown.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about cities, and then we started talking about buildings.
Right.
So
And
it's
cities
it's
stem
a
from like where rappers are
it's a
from.
logical trail of thought, you know?
Hmm.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know very much about buildings, so that's why it was interesting to me. So
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Art Deco
Not.
architecture?
I don't know.
If
I
you
I don't
don't
know a
know.
lot
Google it,
about
you'll
it.
know. If you Google it, you'll know exactly what
I
I'm
know
talking
it
about.
is. I don't know if I'm really like.
Like think of
You
like
gotta look Art
BioShock or
Deco
like
architecture
Fallout.
to see it. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's pretty sweet. Like it's cool. I think
I'm
it's
into
cool.
Art Deco, dude. It's pretty awesome. That's a lot. That's like just like art, but the buildings are a
Yeah.
different
I
kind of.
searched architecture. I knew I'd made a
Yeah,
mistake when I
yeah,
saw
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. You went
Um,
to art school.
Dude, they
yeah.
have some.
Well, also, there's this thing where people will ask for a style. Like, they'll be like, I want my business card to have kind of like an Art Deco or like an Art Deco logo or, and
Yeah,
people never know what they really mean by that. It's always something
yeah.
different, and it's really frustrating. Um,
Yeah, they have like an Antoni Gaudí building, and he's probably my favorite architect. He's like one of the few I know, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome. I think he's
How do you
like
spell that?
Gaudí is
Anthony.
Antoni. Then his last name is Gaudi. He's really huge. Like his buildings are all over Barcelona. But
Oh.
he's
Oh
fucking
yeah,
super
that's the
interesting.
fucking the Basilica
Yeah, fucking La Sagrada Familia.
Sagrada. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. That thing's insane. That is
yeah. I
that's
went
probably
inside that shit. It was fucking
yeah.
amazing.
That one's Art Nouveau, I think, is the
Yeah, it
design of
is.
that.
Yeah, it's Art
Yeah.
Nouveau. It's different, but it
That
popped up under that, so it brought me to that
that
point.
that building's still not finished. And they've been building it for what, like over 100 years now?
Yeah, when I saw it, they were like, they said they're on the last like 20 years of
is it
construction.
this
Like they're
temple
right
thing?
there. Yeah,
Basilica
Okay.
de Sagrada or whatever.
I think it's what
La
this is.
Sagrada Familia.
It's
It's
Yeah,
just
that's what this is.
Sagrada
That's what this is.
Familia Basilica. Yeah, whatever.
And it's
It's
fucking
yeah,
amazing. It's
it's
incredible. And
so
like
intricate.
when I was there, I don't remember all the symbolism, but they were describing like every single like nook and cranny of that is symbolism. Like every single
Yeah.
thing
Sure.
in there is fucking
What a
hugely
fucking
just
genius, dude.
yeah.
That's amazing. What an amazing fucking like masterpiece. Like
Man,
that's like
even like by these, like what I think is interesting is some of this, like even at the bottom section with all the like statues and stuff, or they're like, it's very like, I don't know, it looks like 64 graphics or something, like it very polygonal and shit.
Yeah.
It's almost like out of another world.
I think the
Yeah.
idea of Art Nouveau organic shapes, like trying to make things look like natural, like plants or whatever,
Really?
cells. Yeah, it's supposed to be organic. Like that's
Oh,
the
okay. I
and
could
like
think.
flowing kind of shapes and stuff and weird.
Yeah, it almost looks
Not
like.
not no straight lines like no like you don't see like a straight like squares or like up the side of the building. Like it doesn't look like a rectangle ever.
Yeah. There's I don't know, like they were really interesting. Like every single thing was super specific to his plans and like there's a statue of Jesus like halfway up that's like off center, and they said that it's off center for a reason, and like there's all this crazy shit. I don't remember any of it because unfortunately, I mean, I just was, not paying attention very well, but everything in
Yeah.
there
Yeah, it's
was
slightly.
incredible.
Well,
Is-
you could probably
wait,
look at
is
that building
Jesus-
for like a whole lifetime and not take it all in.
Is his head hung or is
Yeah,
his head
it's
cut
hung
off?
and he's like sitting down.
Because there's
like-
like another head like next to this like cross thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
It's incredibly like intricate and interesting, just like he said. But everything about it is just, I don't know. It was fucking super interesting. I've been fortunate enough to see a lot of really cool shit in my life. Like I don't remember what the plaza's called, but it's where they shot like several scenes from Star Wars Episode 1, like the Naboo scenes, and it was in Spain,
Oh,
and I was
really?
there. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, and like when they told
It's
you
the
that, it's like
greatest
I could
movie
see
of all
that.
time.
It's my
Star Wars
favorite of
episode.
them. I mean, come on.
What?
Oh man.
You know, Jar Jar gets a lot of credit, but people just don't give enough credit to Watto.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jar
I think
Jar
Watto, the slave owner, really just doesn't get enough credit. Isn't that his name, Watto? Mine.
I
Yeah.
think so. I think Jar
Runs
Jar is the only reason to watch
the
it.
chop chop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's his name, but I know who you're talking about because that's what I call him too.
Yeah, it is Watto. It's Watto.
Mm.
But no, Jar Jar is super interesting as a character. I think we should go into that.
No.
That's like enough cancer.
We go from talking about the Sagrada Basilica to the fucking Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
I tried to transition us to Star Wars in general. You guys brought up Jar Jar, so
I mean,
Star
it's on
Wars.
you.
you said
Yeah.
Star Wars Episode 1, so it had
I had to be specific. I couldn't like just.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that fist in his face.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh fuck. Just look at that. Look at that face, dude.
Look at those eyes.
Oh
Man.
god, just staring into my soul.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jar Jar. Oh, Jar.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty horrid image.
Are we just gonna meditate here on
Yeah,
Jar
I
Jar?
think we're just gonna meditate on Jar Jar the rest of the stream.
Oh,
Yeah, we got
Jar
about a
Jar.
half hour left of this, guys.
All right, I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Like,
Is-
I have to cover this up.
Okay. I see.
All right. Just kidding.
I was just gonna go to a different picture of him and zoom in all the way again.
So, Charles, have you lived near Nashville your whole life? Is that like the only place you've
No.
ever lived?
I've lived in East Tennessee, in Kingsport. I've lived in Memphis, and I've lived here.
Okay. So you've been in Tennessee your whole life, though.
Yeah, for sure. But
Okay.
like, I've been in every. Tennessee is basically like 3 different states.
It's fucking huge, dude.
Yeah.
I've
But
been to
in
Tennessee.
all 3 sections.
I can't remember like where I was. It's like there's this Opryland hotel that I stayed in.
That's
Nashville.
Nashville, dude.
Yeah, Nashville was pretty sweet. I went during high
Yeah.
school though, so I didn't get any of the fun of like being a fucker, you know.
Yeah.
Is that a mountain lion? Or bobcat?
Bobcat at Base Mountain.
Oh, okay. With a dead deer.
Wait, was there a dead deer? That was
Yeah, it
just
was
2
like-
bobcats.
Oh, 2 bobcats.
yeah, it's
never
just 2
mind.
bobcats.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, dude. La Coretta. Did you just
yeah,
Google
dude,
Kingsport?
I googled Kingsport, Tennessee. I wanted to see if we had any oversaturated pictures, and guess what? We do, but it's of
Yeah.
it.
Eastman?
For a second I thought it was of Eastman. It's not. It's just a blurry picture of the downtown area, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what's the
Um,
difference?
Yeah, blurry, realistic. It's all awful. I'd rather if Kingsport was blurry when I visited.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
What about you, Moose? Where all of you lived?
Well, I grew up on the Apache Reservation in Arizona, actually, the White Mountain
Mhm.
Apache, because there's several. It's a place called Honda, Arizona.
Honda.
Yeah, HON-DAH.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
Yeah, there's a casino here, so it's pretty recognizable. But
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
I grew up here and I lived and went to school on the reservation my whole life. And then I went out to Flagstaff, Arizona, and it's fucking gorgeous out there. I loved it. And eventually I'd love to move back there or somewhere similar to it. That's kind of why I've got my mindset on like places like Colorado or something, something like with like trees and shit. And then while I was in college, I lived in Costa Rica for about 6 months, and that was pretty incredible. I did a
Yeah,
study
that's
abroad
cool.
program, and
Awesome.
yeah, that was a fucking really sweet experience. It's kind of what pushed me into doing Spanish as a major, because I kind of studied abroad, and I got really ahead on Spanish credits, so I just fucking did it. Um, but it's okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't really plan on ever using my Spanish major for Spanish, just kind of as one of those getting a job in general
Yeah,
with the
definitely.
degree, Just
Bilingual.
yeah,
It's a big
exactly.
plus. Big plus.
Um, but no, Costa Rica was cool, man. I lived in the capital, and then I traveled everywhere there, like coast to coast, like all the cool places. Um, and it was cool. I lived with the host family. That was fucking interesting for sure, because I don't know. It was a lot more invasive than I thought it would be.
Mhm.
Because I'm used to doing everything on my own, but I'd come home from school and I'd go like and just in the house, and then I'd look out the back window and there'd be like my fucking clothes hanging on the line and shit, because she would do my laundry and like make my bed every day,
Oh
and
wow.
it was fucking really weird.
Yeah.
Um, but that was like the biggest complaint. Other than that, it was cool. My mom came to visit me, so that made it more bearable. I think I would have hated it more if I didn't get a visitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you
I'd
don't
like
really
to
like know how homesick you can get until it's literally unreachable.
I'd like to travel more.
Yeah, me
I've
too. I traveled as a kid.
I'd
And
like
it
to go
all
to Europe.
feels like dreams now, you know.
I've
Yeah.
traveled a shitload in my
I
life.
so I've lived in most of my life in Kingsport, Tennessee. I was born in Pennsylvania, but moved to Kingsport before I could remember, when I was like 2. And then my dad works for a chemical company, Eastman. It's like the big thing in Kingsport. And so we moved overseas for 4 years. When I was a kid, I lived in Singapore, and then went back to Kingsport, and then went to school in Knoxville, and then moved here for 2 years in LA. But so when we were in Singapore, my dad did all this traveling, collected all these air miles. We got to go to all these places for basically for free. And like now it's really weird. Like I've walked on the Great Wall of China. It feels like a dream. Like it's not like a real memory. I don't know what is I remember from pictures I've seen and what is like real, you know?
Yeah,
And
sure.
and so that's like a lot of my experiences with traveling is I did all these cool things before I was 9 years old.
Oh,
And
word.
so I don't like I had 4 years where I went to Australia 3 times during like a 4-year period. I don't
You
like
know,
remember Australia.
I knew a guy whose dad worked for Eastman and went to Singapore. His family did. His name was Garrett De Bruin, I think.
Yeah, De Bruin.
Yeah, do you
Yeah,
know them or
yeah. I
something?
used to, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and we used to live across the street from them in Kingsport before we both went to Singapore. It was really weird.
In like Colonial Heights,
Yep,
sort of.
yep.
Yeah, dude. That's where my my ex-girlfriend lived in that neighborhood in high
Really,
school.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Steeplechase, I think, is the name of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, Kingsport life.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to travel more. Like out of the country. Like I went to Germany when I guess it was like 2001, like before 9/11.
Okay.
I was
Word.
about 11 or something like that, 10 or 11.
Just
I
old enough to
remember
like
it.
start appreciating it, but not old enough
Yeah,
to
I
really
remember
appreciate
it.
it.
Yeah, I remember it. Well, the one thing I remember going over there, I was like, I went over there, and it was like my first day over there. I was like jet lagged and all that shit, and I was like in some neighborhood in like the neighborhood playground. And it was like a small kind of like villagey town where the people that we were visiting lived. And
Sure.
I was looking around. I was like, this doesn't really feel any different from being being in America.
Yeah.
It just looks a little different. It feels like I still feel normal, but that's
Yeah.
weird. That's a weird
So
thought.
I've traveled a lot since high school. Very fortunate, but one of the things that I could tell you is that almost nowhere feels very different than America. It's just the people are skinnier.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it's like
That's
you're the
a
same
In
really-
some
person.
places, they're way skinnier.
It's
Yeah.
like it's not like you're gonna go somewhere and be a different person, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like you're still the same you. It's like so it's you're probably not gonna feel, you know.
dude, the things that
I guess some trips are more immersive than others, you know.
I remember in Asia, the main thing was like getting my fucking face pinched by Asian ladies. 'Cause I was like a chubby American kid, and they're just
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, little American kid!" They just wanna, like, they all did like the same like cheek pinch thing.
That's
I just remember
hilarious.
like fucking hating that. Like I remember
That's
little
funny.
things like that. Um, yeah, I had like a Pokemon game in Japanese. I had Pokemon Green. um, like
That's
things
awesome.
like that. Um, yeah, the story with the green. I've told it before on stream, but the story with the green game was like people would want to trade with me here in the States when I moved back in like
But it was
third
region
grade.
locked.
Well, it would trade, but it would turn like it would turn their Pokemon into missing gnomes. Like it would fuck up other Pokemon they had in their party. So I just destroyed people's games, turned their like level 100 Blastoise into a missing gnome. Like I just really
Get fucking wrecked, kid.
yeah, I know. It happened several times, like more than once. I was just like, "Hey, it might happen again," and they were always, like, you know, I made kids cry, not on purpose,
Mm.
but it
Mm.
happened.
Mm. Yeah. So what are you guys' favorite city you've ever been to?
Oh, dude, that's fucking really hard. I think mine might be
I don't know.
maybe it's like a tie between like no, it's just Madrid. I really liked Madrid. I went to Madrid when I was in Spain, and it was fucking really incredible. Just the whole, just all up and down. There's like really sweet architecture. There's really sweet like just shit going on all the time. They're really big into art and stuff. Massive park, you know, just really cool all around.
Mm.
And public transit was huge there, so it made it easy to get around.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I
What about
really
you,
like.
Michael?
I have no idea. I was trying to think.
What
I
were you gonna
really
say,
don't
Moose?
know.
I really like Dublin as well, though.
Okay.
Dublin was cool. It was cool for different reasons though. Like I like Dublin because even though you were in this massive fucking city, like there was just it was fucking huge. It felt really small because like you only had to stay on one block to like get a pub and a restaurant and a shop and like
I
you know what I
searched-
mean? Like you could do the whole thing.
That's
It's
how
all in one
Memphis
block.
is.
I searched Dub Land instead of
Like I lived in when I lived
That's
in Memphis.
that's where we
like,
live in.
'cause I'm
When I lived
fucking
in Memphis, like
uneducated.
I would like spend like a week, you know, and I'm like I would probably haven't gone like 2 miles from my house.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like the best part of Dublin. I mean, we went and toured like Dublin and then we got dropped off in the middle of the city or whatever. And we didn't leave like that block because there was like this really sweet like pub thing that we went and got some beers at and then restaurant with dinner and like all these shops and stuff. There was no reason to ever like leave that like that little block, you know?
That's
It was
how
cool.
Miami was too in South Beach. That's probably my favorite city is Miami
Hmm.
In Florida?
that I've been to. Yeah, dude, Miami.
Florida's
I mean,
one of the few states I've
Miami
never been to.
looks like an awesome city. Like, there's a
Dude,
lot of
it
shit in Miami.
Is insane. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It feels like another country. It feels like you've like left the United States.
I don't know, man. It looks a lot like Cincinnati and Sydney and all the
But
other
no,
cities
no,
I've
no,
been.
the people, like yeah, I get the joke. But like when you go to Miami, like you if you're a white person, you're a minority there. Like absolutely. And like if you don't speak Spanish, like you're like speaking a second language there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd love to go to Florida. It's one of the few places I've never been. Oh no, I lied. I spent a week in Florida in high school. I went to I think it was Orlando.
Yeah, you did Disneyland.
Yeah, I went to Disney World and
Yeah,
shit, but
Disney World.
that was part of a high school trip. But it was cool, but I didn't really get like anything before I graduated high school. I feel like I didn't really get the experience because like you can't be really like a shithead until you're like 18, 19 or 20, you know.
Sure.
Can't really do what you want.
Yeah.
Like in high school, it was all scheduled and everything was like, be here at this time and that kind of shit, you know?
Sure.
Dude, I went to Disney World in high school and it was fucking awesome.
Well, I loved it. I'm not saying I didn't love it, but I feel like I didn't get like a real, like, authentic, like, Florida experience. I didn't get to like go and talk to anyone
Fuck
because
did you just Google?
Shithead.
Shafid?
Shafid. Yeah.
but no, it's Jesus. It was an interesting experience, but I'd really like to revisit it because it was very unmemorable besides Disney World.
Hmm.
Man, Atlanta. I don't know how I feel about Atlanta. I don't think I liked Atlanta.
Yeah, I've never had a good feeling in Atlanta.
I've only ever laid over at the Atlanta airport, but if the airport is indicative of the city at all, I fucking hate that place.
Yeah. DC is interesting. DC is a really fucking like weird city. Like
I like
you know,
Washington,
just
D.C.
yeah,
I like it a
like
lot. I think it's cool.
like just I remember being at the Starbucks across the street from Capitol Hill and just like all these fucking people in suits just looking
Yeah.
real like just like talking about like political gossip. Like they were just talking. It was so weird. It was
I
fucking
like
strange.
I like New Orleans. How
I've
could
never
you
been.
not like
That
New
sounds
Orleans
awesome.
though?
Yeah, I need to go to New Orleans.
Atlanta's just a sweaty city, according to Jay Fury.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not wrong. I mean, most cities in the South are.
Yeah,
New
no,
Orleans
that was
is
the
a
worst
pretty
part about
fucking
being
sweaty
in
city.
Richmond is an interesting city. Richmond is kind of similar to Memphis in that it feels like it's been like forgotten about, sort of, but like hipstery kind of place.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like the
Well,
like
Richmond,
like the hood
Virginia?
and hipsters is Richmond.
Yeah,
and like
that's
so
where
is
my sister
Memphis.
went to college. Richmond is an interesting city.
VCU.
Yeah, all the cobblestones and shit.
Yeah, well, the reason about that is because in like the
Hey guys,
70s.
I'm gonna go take a leak.
Go for it.
In the 70s when a lot of like the federal and like state governments were like, all right, we're gonna tear down all your old shit and build new shit.
Yeah.
Richmond was like being an extremely conservative city. It was like, no, we're not gonna fucking let you do that. So there's a lot of old stuff in Richmond. And like Atlanta probably would be the same way, but it got burned down by the Union Army. Sherman.
Gotcha. And they still,
You know?
yeah,
So
burn
Atlanta's like-
Atlanta.
Yeah, so Atlanta's like a shiny, like pristine, like modern city, while like Richmond is not.
Yeah, Richmond
Was the
this-
capital of the Confederacy too.
Yeah, they have the like Robert E. Lee statue,
They have
and
lots, and they have a freaking like what's the guy Stonewall Jackson statue and stuff like that.
yeah, you know,
Memphis
like
has
somebody
a,
spray painted on the Robert E. Lee statue. Your vote was a hate crime after the Trump election.
Yeah, I think I heard about that.
Yeah,
Memphis has a Nathan Bedford Forrest statue, and I think
I don't know who that is.
he was a Confederate general. He was like a monster, like a war criminal. Like he executed a bunch of prisoners of war and like
Crazy.
African Americans at like a prison camp. And
Jesus.
he was the founding member of the KKK.
Oh, this guy looks evil.
Yeah.
This guy
There's a
looks
statue
so
of him
evil.
in Memphis, and I think it's owned by
Nathan
private
Bedford
I think it's
Forrest.
on, or it might not be. It's on city property that I think was given to the city by his family or something.
Okay.
But there's been some. I don't know if they've taken it down, but there's been people want them to take it down.
Yeah.
I think the city wants to take it down too.
Imagine
but I'm
that.
not sure. Yeah. But yep.
Crazy. So
Huh.
now we've worked our way from Danny Brown to the founder of the KKK.
Yeah. Interesting trajectory.
How much longer you guys want to do this? I think we've been going for like an hour and a half, right? Ish.
Yeah, something like that.
It's been close to like an hour 15, I think, hour 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, because I don't think we Caleb, check your damn Snapchat. um, but no, we didn't start right on time, so we're getting pretty close though. I don't know,
Okay.
however long you guys want to, honestly. I mean, I don't really
Yeah,
care.
I just, I want the upload to be an appropriate time.
Manageable.
Yeah. I don't want a 2-hour upload, but other than that, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Maybe
about
an
to
hour
open
and a
another
half
beer.
at most.
Yeah,
Yeah, something like that.
another
I-
15 minutes, kind of just closing thoughts, kind of shit, I guess.
Yeah. And next week or next time, I told Curry if he wants to be on the next one, he can. I just thought it would
Yeah,
be.
dude.
Moose and I talked about it. We thought it'd be good if we just started with us three and got all so that we didn't have to talk about what a podcast is with Curry here. We can
Yeah.
follow Curry's trail.
What is a
Whatever.
podcast?
What is a podcast? It is a audio or video format where
Did you just Google
no, I
podcast?
didn't. I didn't Google anything. But
A
let's Google it.
podcast, or generically a netcast, is an episodic series of digital audio or video files which a user can download and listen to. It is often available for subscription so that new episodes are automatically downloaded via web syndication to the user's own local computer, mobile application, or portable media player. It is distinct from internet radio, which involves streaming rather than downloading.
Yeah, dude. Great.
The word was originally suggested by Ben Hammersley as a portable iPod, a brand media player, and broadcast. That's
Hey,
interesting.
I found
That's very interesting.
I found Mashable's 7 tips for launching a successful podcast. Want to see how we're doing so far?
I saw that the other day. It was so cool.
Okay, one.
Let's follow them all.
Let's see.
Unless
Let's see
it's
how we're
BuzzFeed,
doing.
I don't believe it.
Mashable is not far off from BuzzFeed. Like, they're slightly better. They're not much better. Okay, 1. Choose a topic you're passionate about.
I'm passionate
bullshit.
about buildings and rap.
Bullshit, buildings, rap. I'm passionate about killing time. That's good.
Yeah, sure.
Downstairs
Yeah.
mix-up is very horny. So, that's good.
Congratulations.
Step 2, brand your podcast. Look, guys, I don't know if you've seen the logo, but
Yeah, well, hit up our Twitter if you want to see the logo.
hold on, I can.
Yeah, bring up our Twitter.
Hold on. No, I just took all our faces off for a second.
Oh,
You can see the logo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we'll figure out a real logo later. But for now, we're just stealing HP's logo.
I think they're stealing ours.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
We
Pineapples are
make
printers.
printers.
All right, downstairs. We'll get to that later after we read this Mashables.
Format and structure. Well, we
talked
know
about
it's a
that
video.
bi-weekly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bi-weekly. It's pretty good.
We're set. Boom, we got that one.
Yeah,
Structure is pretty stream of consciousness, I think.
yeah.
I think
Clearly.
that's all the good podcasts are like.
That's an interesting. That's an interesting like thought. Just that's our structure, you know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like the best ones are like that, you know.
Yeah.
No real schedule, you know. There's no like
Or we could have
segments.
weird, like planned out like things. Like maybe you guys like find some videos that we can watch and react to.
Yeah. We'll have to have some of that.
maybe people
Yeah.
can send shit or something eventually.
Or like crazy like recent events or
Mhm.
like fun little activities that will have weird results, you know.
Yeah.
I'm frightened of talking about recent events.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's not so much about what happened. It's just about like opinions. People are so fucking up their own ass about
mean,
everything.
we don't have to
What are
talk
you
about-
afraid to like drive
we don't have
people
to-
away?
I mean, when I
or-
say recent events, I don't mean like politics or like anything
Mhm.
like
Oh,
that. We
okay.
can talk about like you know, I was talking about Danny Brown's new album or some shit like
like
that. Like, we
Coachella
can talk
or
about
something stupid.
cultural events.
Yeah.
Let's
things
talk
like
about
that.
the character length on Twitter.
funny things that happened that like, you know, whatever. Just whatever.
think-
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I don't know. I guess I took it the wrong way, but sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just things that are meme worthy and current.
Sure.
Meme worthy.
So that's basically plan your content. That's what we.
No, I don't know if I ever care about actually like 100% planning anything.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. And that's kind of how I feel about the rest of this. I feel like it just it comes. The other things on this are record, broadcast, and edit. I think we got that covered.
Nailed it.
Wait, they do have some apps. ScreenFlow, a great app for recording and editing screencasts. I don't know. I thought it might be some way.
Buy their apps, dude.
Yeah, we should buy all their apps, dude. Grow your audience. I don't think we're too concerned about their tips there. And monetize. I can't wait to get a bunch of ads on
burp
here.
into the microphone. Is
Yeah.
that one on there?
Yeah, I think it's a big part of it.
We're gonna monetize
It's a
it.
big part of our brand.
Monetize burps.
Yeah.
We're gonna be like, this burp was sponsored by
Sprunk.
Sprunk. A fat old bottle of Sprunk. Or yeah.
I just want PBR to sponsor us, even if all we do is say their name every podcast, and it's not. We don't
Yeah.
get
See
paid
that
for it.
PBR has an IPA now?
Yeah, I saw
What?
it's an APA. It's an American Pale Ale.
Yeah. They have like
Yeah.
there's a second kind of PBR
What
that
is
you can
this?
buy now.
I've never found it. I've been looking for it because
It was in
I don't know.
Kroger near my house. Dude, your screen just went insane.
I know
dude.
all those numbers. I don't
we're
know
the
what
Matrix,
that was.
bro.
I tried
That was
to.
the code, dude. That was the
Yeah.
code of the
of the
universe.
real world, dude, and you fucked it up.
That
and got
was
rid of
me
it.
trying to open like one of these Google images in a new tab.
Yeah, dude, look at that thing.
That thing's badass. Look at that can. That's the
Yeah.
fucking shit.
Should I like buy that? Like, would that be a waste of?
No,
waste
you
of
should
my money?
definitely buy it.
We should buy it and like review it.
Can we
next
taste
episode.
test it next time? Yeah.
Yeah,
we should
And
review
we-
it next episode.
And we can, and we'll, just be like, today's episode is brought to you by. I'm only gonna say good things. I don't know about you guys. I'm only gonna say good things. I'm trying to get that
are our
sponsorship.
names in Comic Sans?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. I told him I wanted everything in Comic Sans, and he
I
didn't
didn't.
come through, but
I
at least he
didn't.
did that.
Yeah.
What's the HARDPOD in? What is that? Is
I
it Helvetica?
no, it's not. I
No.
don't even have Helvetica on this computer.
What?
It doesn't
Yeah,
come
what the
with
fuck?
Windows apparently. So I have to purchase it or transfer a license for my other computer or something. I don't know. Or
What do you
just
think of
steal it.
Futura?
It's okay. I'm not super into it. Speaking of Art Deco, that's kind of like used for a lot of Art Deco design
That's
stuff.
the Supreme font, dude. Futura.
I don't know,
bold,
I'd say-
or italic.
Oh, that one? I thought you were talking
Oh,
about
okay.
Helvetica.
That's the font for the Supreme brand. Is Futura.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's a sweet idea for next episode. Like nobody drink one, just buy a 6-pack of APA, the Pabst APA,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we could drink them next time together. That'd be fucking really cool.
Sure.
I'd be down with that.
I might have to go out of town to get it though, because I live in like the fucking smallest town ever. It's probably not that small, but
Use
I
Old
haven't found it
English
here.
font. Yeah, dude. Only Old English font. What's up,
Yeah, dude.
Scaly Manfish?
if we got sponsored by Old English, like the
That's a
people who do
good
the
name.
40s,
It's a real good name. Scaly Manfish.
there's 2 good names today.
Yeah.
No trashness is fucking up. It'd be cool to get sponsored by a beer, any beer. Like I'd advertise it.
I don't.
We've got some.
What if
we've
you
got
had to
two-
advertise Budweiser though?
Here's a couple beers.
I would
That's what
dump. I
drink.
would dump the beers out and
New
then fill them
Belgium.
with other shit and like
And
drink them.
Lagunitas.
Ooh,
I like that New Belgium voodoo thing too. It's pretty good.
Voodoo
It's like
Ranger's
a
pretty good.
But, like they came out with, it's a special Voodoo Ranger. It's the Juicy Haze Voodoo Ranger.
Ooh, I don't
Ooh.
think I've
Like-
had that one.
They have different flavors of the Voodoo Ranger now.
That's interesting.
If
I'm
flavors is a
drinking-
word you can use.
Dog fish head. What? I can't see my webcam.
Official sponsor.
Namaste White.
Oh, that's a great fucking beer, dude.
It's good.
I've never
Like
had it.
the, oh, that is a good beer, dude. Like the fucking like that's a complex tasting beer. Like
Mhm.
the peppercorn and orange
Yeah.
and shit in it.
It's
good,
very
dude.
zesty.
Oh my god.
It's
I'd
good.
dump you out and fill you with other shit.
Oh god.
The fuck?
I don't know. I don't know. We should play Minecraft. See where that goes.
Oh god, that sounds terrible.
That's how
I
you.
used-
That's how you get the real weird comments.
I don't think that would be a podcast anymore. I think that would be a stream.
Yeah,
We're
Yeah,
just talking
totally
about
stream.
yeah. I was kidding.
just streaming Minecraft. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
We could do like, well, I mean, you guys could, I guess, but we could do like side hard pod shit eventually. You know, like
Mm.
doesn't have to all be like the podcast. That we could all three get together and talk and play fucking video games too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Yeah.
when we have people that like what we talk about when we eventually find our stride.
Yeah, gotcha.
But cool, we netted a follower today, so that's good.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that
Had
was
some people
more
watching.
successful than I thought. I think we're kind of at the hour and a half mark for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
think we're
think
there.
I think this would be a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can cut it a couple sentences back or something if we want to. Or,
I mean, why? Why would you do? Why don't we just like?
Why would you shortchange the viewers?
Yeah, dude. Why don't we give like a good outro? Like
Well,
it started
okay.
meta, it ended meta, like kind of
I
book.
felt like we were losing momentum. I'm sorry.
It's fine, dude. Like
Scary
it doesn't
man
need
fish.
to. It doesn't need to be like I don't understand why it has to be some kind of like perfectionist. Like we're not like making like fucking like Citizen Kane over here or anything like that.
Down with the
I'm
mic and
pretty
see the
sure
papa.
we're making
Can that
Citizen
be-
Kane over here. Hey, thanks
Can
for the
that
follow.
be? Can that be our like motto? Is we're not making Citizen Kane over here.
I'm gonna add that to the Twitter bio right after this.
We're not making fucking Citizen Kane over here. Yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna add it to the Twitter bio right after this, guys.
Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we started pretty meta, so maybe we should have like a concrete ending. I think that's a
Sure.
good idea.
I think we did have it. We were talking about meta shit for a few minutes there.